and of course, a nonsense coach, inspiring actors to cultivate growth mindset. No other than Mr. Albert
Well,
Bramante.
thank you so much for having me here, Daniel.
Welcome, welcome, Mr. Albert. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Sure. Well, I've been a talent agent for the past 20 years, 21 years actually. I also have a doctorate in psychology, and I've been doing this type of work for a little over 20 years, and I work with actors. Day to day, I'm a talent agent, but I also represent actors and coach them too. So um, a lot of it is on mindset.
Mindset, indeed. And today, let's talk about mastering actor mindset, psychological strategies to silence self doubt. Tell us, Mr. Albert, how would you describe the specific tone and message of a self doubt and that plagues actors?
Well, there's a lot of things that happen over time. And most of the self doubt that comes up is has to do with like the actor's lifestyle because there's a lot of competition. It's an overly competitive field in a market, and there's a lot of no more. The average actor is going to get told more no's than they're going to get told yeses. And after a while, that's just going to start wearing the actor down, from hearing all these no's, especially when they're really passionate in what they do. They're, there's going to be just so many more no's than there are going to be yeses. And I mean, that's the reality of business.
And what is the profound or fundamental pillars of a mastered actor mindset and how it's different from just being able to memorize lines and hit the max?
Well, memorizing lines is good and important, especially for performances when you're on stage or even on film sets. And that's one piece of it. But also, it has a lot to do with resiliency and being able to persevere. And that's really what is important with the actor's mindset. There has to be that discipline, there has to be that focus, and there just really has to be, again, um, the ability to withstand the nose and keep going and keep growing. So one pillar that's really important is a growth mindset, and this is a term coined by Carol Dweck in her book Mindset. And what really is important is being able to really have the framework that would keep growing, and that each no or each setback is a way to move forward.
It's a way to move forward. I like that. Mr. Albert, and how does the pursuit of perfect performance actually become the biggest obstacle to an authentic and connected one?
Well, the biggest obstacle, because you have to be authentic, you have to be kind of raw and genuine and sometimes open with your emotions. And after a while, that can be very hard for an actor, because again, you're being told no so many times, and it can wear the actor down as time goes on.
Is it one of the hardest thing to do, Mr. Albert?
It sure is. It sure is, especially again when there's a lot of pressure. But the important thing is to have that growth mindset. But also, as an actor, it's good to have diverse interests. So, like hobbies and passions that are outside of just acting. So that can kind of keep you busy or keep you occupied while you're waiting for work to happen.
And tell us, how about the powerful psychological ritual? an actor can do in 10 minutes before an audition to center themselves and quiet the noise of self doubt?
Very good question. Well, the important thing is obviously prepare. Really prepare their audition. The script, read the script, like really get to know the script, but then also um, clear their mind. Good meditation can help, and even just visualizing themselves in that audition room or in front of the audience doing a great job. So it's like using their imagination, using their five senses. And even if you can, another is work on your physiology, and that means like taking power poses in the sense that when you take a power pose, for instance, what you often will see is you change your physiology and you put it in a strong a physical body. You're priming yourself up to be strong. Next thing you know, you're gonna that your mindset is gonna match with that. So having a strong mind is important.
Unlock your potential, transform your life. Can you please expound this phrase on your website?
Sure. Well, unlocking potential. I mean, we all have the strong potential to be successful within us. Now, sometimes through life getting in the way, obstacles, programming that we may receive from our parents, and or we develop kind of like a critical voice. And when we develop that critical voice, what winds up happening is we start to take the negative self-talk. And so unlocking potential is really all about getting to what you really have, the essence within you, the gift within you, helping you channel that. Because when you do that, your life will transform in all different ways. Because you're then going to be hyper focused to get that success.
Interesting, Mr. Albert, and very well said. And tell us, how can actors reframe the physical symptoms of anxiety from signs of fear in tools for a more energized performance?
Well, the one thing is to look at failure as feedback and even reframing anxiety. Because if we look at the symptoms of anxiety, the elevated heart rate, the butterflies in your stomach, the elevated breathing, those are, even though that might be how we respond to anxiety, that's also how we respond to excitement. So we should look at, instead of saying like, oh, my heart rate's beating faster, I breathe element, I get the butterflies in my stomach, I must be nervous. No, transform that to I must be excited, because again, excitement is going to produce the same bodily reactions as anxiety would.
Mr. Albert, how can actors use what if questions positively to explore their character rather than negatively to spiral in doubt about their own choices?
Well, what if questions could be like, you start exploring the characters. What are the motivations of the character? What are, what is the main mission of a character in that scene or in that interaction? And really focusing on the character rather than themselves. And even though we want somewhat the actor to bring a little bit of themselves into the character, but the focus should be on the character itself. So what would the character do in this situation? What would the character do in that situation?
What is the neurological connection between controlled breathing and silencing the brain response? What is the simple breathing technique for actors?
Well, it's like any type of box breathing, like breathing in for four, exhaling for four, and it's just slowing down the nervous system. and calming the nervous system. You're activating what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. You're calming the body down, and when you calm the body down, it will help you focus more. You won't be stressed out, and you're gonna be more um, present. And when you're more present, your audition is going to be a lot better and stronger.
Definitely. And how does meticulous deep preparation build an unshakable foundation of confidence that doubt can easily penetrate?
Well, the unshakable confidence comes in to know you're doing the work and everything is there, and you're hyper focused.
Hmm, very well said. So, how would an actor's mindset in rehearsal, where it is safe to fail, an experiment, or differ from their mindset in performance? Why is
Well,
it that distinction crucial?
the important thing is when you're rehearsing, you're trying out new things. You're trying, different directions, and you look at failure as growth, as feedback, as failing forward. So each time you rehearse and you may fail, that you're one step closer to nailing it and getting it right. So that's what rehearsal is there for, to play around and even to make some mistakes or explore new areas with the character. So it's time to be like compassionate and forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself for sure. I like that, Mr. Albert. And let it go and move on. How can
Exactly.
how can an actor learn to focus entirely on the process of telling the story and connecting with scene partners rather than outcome of booking the job or getting applause?
Well, the important thing is to enjoy the process, and it's connected to your motivation of becoming an actor. Most actors become actors because I like to tell stories. I like to bring characters to life. So focus on that rather than the end game, which is getting the job. Focusing more on bringing the character to life and bringing the scene to life and connecting with your scene partner. And then the rest is just a bonus. If you get the job, great. If not, at least you did, your the best you could do, and you had those 2 minutes in the audition to showcase your ability.
And Mr. Albert, why is audition room the ultimate test of an actor's psychological strength? And what specific mindset shift is required to survive it professionally?
Well, the audition room is kind of like the place where that job, it's determined whether you're going to get the job or not. And the important mindset is to go in with almost like, even though it is important, but to go in with the mindset of I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to have fun for these 2 minutes and showcase what I can do. And then let it go. As soon as you walk out of that room, you shouldn't even think about that audition anymore. Your focus should then be, this was great. Now what's my next appointment? What can I do to get my next audition?
Yes, again, let it go, people, whatever happened. How can actors dismantle the story that rejection, I'm not good enough, and replace it with healthier, more accurate narrative?
Well, the important thing is to take it not personal, because it's not about how good you are, or whether they like you or not. It's, are you the right actor for the job, for the role, for the character? And sometimes there could be so many things you could do right, but you just may not get the job. You may be too tall or too short, or not the right hair color, not the right age, or another actor just fits that role in a better way, the vision in a better way. So it's not personal, and I wouldn't take it personally.
Yes, don't take it personally, people. Any industry built on typecasting and constant comparison, how can actor cultivate strong sense of their own unique value and artistry?
Well, as with your training, you figure out what niche or what area you can go into. Like, what type of character can you play, or what type of archetype can you play, and you focus more on that. And you just worry about building yourself. And the only person you should be competing with is yourself. Don't worry about the other actors, the other players in there. It should all be about you.
Yes, it's all about you, people. And don't compare to yourself, because the more you compare yourself, you will have a self pity or whatever. And how can actors receive critical feedback or challenging direction without internalizing it's a personal attack that fuels self doubt?
Well, keep in mind that a director, or casting director, or producer is really there to get the best performance out of you. And that may mean giving you suggestions, telling you different things to do. And it's not personal. It's not a reflection on you. And sometimes their vision of a character can change on the spot. It's like, hey, why don't you try this or try that? So look at it more as a learning opportunity and even just a creative process. You're developing a character and sometimes on the spot too.
Interesting, Mr. Albert. And for an actor paralyzed by doubt, what is the smallest, most manageable first step they can take to begin building more resilient mindset?
The important thing is to really go reflect on your confidence first. So all your past achievements is important. Another thing you want to do, and this is for any in any field, you want to create a community and be around a community of people that will empower you. So so you want to hang out with actors and level up with other actors that are just as successful or even more successful than you are at the moment, because they'll help elevate you. And don't be around. If you're around a lot of negative people, it'll rub off on you. So I like to sometimes say, be around people who will celebrate you and not tolerate you.
Mm, yes, for sure. Is there a daily non acting practice that directly strengthen an actor's mental resilience?
Reading, listening to other, thought leaders, podcasts, just consuming knowledge. And also maybe get some volunteer work or doing some type of work to help other people too.
Yes. Make something else, people, to
Yes.
rewire your brain. What is a simple but powerful self talk exercise an actor can do in the mirror to reinforce self belief before a big day?
Well, I just say I'm capable. Like, even to say to yourself, I'm a professional working actor. I deserve to have success.
Yes, I indeed like podcasting, people. I'm a podcaster and I'll be number one on the Apple chart soon. Mhm.
Exactly. And you will be number one. And just keep saying that, and just keep put that in like in your vision board that whatever it is that you're going to be number one.
Yeah.
And you'll because when you start doing that and believing it, you're going to start leveling up, and you will start transforming yourself, and you'll get better at anything you do.
Indeed. And how important is finding a supportive, trusted community of fellow actors in maintaining psychological health and silencing
It
doubt?
is very important, because again, you want to be around a community that will elevate you, that will build you up.
Definitely. Build your confidence, build your community is one of the key. And Mr. Albert, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. Abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love letters in it third season, and Movie 101 review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Albert, is the goal to completely eliminate self doubt, or is it to develop the tools to acknowledge its presence and perform brilliantly in spite of it? What does mastery actually look like?
Yeah, mastery is more of the second thing that you had mentioned about being able to overcome it, and not necessarily get rid of it, but learn to manage it with you. Because again, that's what keeps us humble. That's what keeps us grounded, by having that self doubt. So it's okay to have it occasionally, but you want to develop a tool set that you can get out of that. And what looking at now, is my website. I have a lot of audios that you can listen to. You can download them. Um, and they will, some of them are about confidence, some of them are about leadership, public speaking, addictions, and there's something for everybody on there. And you just listen to it for like, they're about 15 minutes long, and you just listen to them on a daily basis for like at least 30 days, once a day for 30 days, and it'll start to rewire. You start to like rewire your mindset and rewire your brain and nervous system, and things will change.
Definitely. Yes, indeed. Mr. Albert, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to
Thank
the
you.
world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or anything you want to promote on Abstract Essay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, where do people can reach you, Mr. Albert?
So go to albertbramante.com or find me on LinkedIn under Albert Bramante, and love to chat with you.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Albert Bramante, because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Mr. Albert, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.